Alright, so here's what is part two of the first one. This is going to be a bit different. What we're going to do in this one is we're going to go over a couple improvements into the part one system. So we're going to do a couple of things. One, we're going to build the architecture for self-annealing loops. So these are loops that will, the agent, we will connect to it an N8N tool to create Google Slides, and three, we'll have a system that is perfect for scaling content or scaling any kind of LinkedIn posting mechanism, because it can create slides, it can post, it can learn from its own execution. So back into Antigravity, and I went ahead and I was just talking to this new agent, and I asked it, I want to give this agentic flow access to tools via the N8N MCP. Which tools would be cool to add? And it gave me a few examples of them. The Google Sheets or Notion, I think I'll probably do Google Slides, and I'll do the posting one for sure. And then it came up with this dream tech stack here, which is a scheduler, a writing agent, which is the current system, a Slack review, in some cases outcompete a pure N8N agentic flow. And it came up with some pretty decent answers. But probably the main thing I wanted it to get at was about the self-annealing. So I asked that, and I said, what about the self-annealing nature of the system? I want to implement that, and it is not able to learn from its own executions. And so it designed this implementation. So you can go ahead too and just put that prompt into your agent, and just tell it to design a plan for self-annealing system based on the existing code that we already have there. Now, if we look at this framework it's come up with, your current system learns from human feedback only. Each time you approve or reject a draft, rules get logged to memory JSON and ingested into the rules database. Now, this ingest into the rules database, I'll show you how we did that. If I go to the other chat, this one here, I told the agent that if you're going to rely on purely the memory.json file, when it gets large enough and it gets big enough, a lot of the context will get lost to the ether as the agent learns more and wants to write more and more. So it designed another Chroma DB specifically for memory.json. Now, the way you do this is you simply just tell it in English, design a vector database for the memory. Okay, and then it's gonna go ahead and ingest. It's gonna create an ingest. We had ingest data already. It'll create an ingest rules as a way to take everything from memory and put it into a vector database. Now in our current chat, it's given us this implementation plan. So currently, that's the way we have it. Self-annealing means the system learns from its own executions without human intervention. This is what N8N fundamentally cannot do. Workflows execute but never introspect their results. So here's the self-annealing concept. The current flow has a human in the loop, will have draft, self-validate, auto-log the violations, regenerate, and then human review. So it automatically evaluate the rule priority. So the key insight is that the rules keep getting violated if every system isn't learning it. Okay. So it has proposed changes. One, to add an execution log, will track every generation, the timestamp, the value, all of this. And the next thing is a self-anneal function. Now, the thing is that with self-annealing workflows, you usually want to already have a good amount of base data for it to work off of. We only have 3 examples here and a couple of temporary ones. So it might not work the best. So here we have the annealing algorithm, which is that it is, I'm going to pause it because there's this kid If you remember before, we had to be there to verify the post. If we proceed with this, it's gonna go ahead and it's going to learn from its own execution. Now, we don't necessarily have to do that right now. We can go ahead and do the tools first. So it also made what we could do in terms of adding tools like this, self-annealing system implementation. And so let's go ahead and add in the ability to go to the slides and to post directly. And we'll use the N8N MCP for that. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to proceed with this right now. We're going to start with the tools. All right, so I'm going to open a new chat. I'm going to say I want to connect this agentic workflow to an N8N MCP. I will say to two N8N MCPs. One for posting when I say post, and one for generating carousels when I agree with the carousel draft the agent makes. Now we need to go here. We need to go to N8N. Here it is. Now we built this in the previous video. So I'm gonna go ahead and just find it. I think it was this one. So we built this in the previous one, and we're just gonna use the same stuff here. So how we're gonna do this is I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go to new workflow, I'm gonna go to open in a new tab. I'm gonna copy the copy file, replace text, download file, and upload file. Copy these four. All right, I'm gonna place them here. And upload file right now is not gonna go anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in my I'm gonna get my LinkedIn drive. So I have a drive here with all the carousels, which I'm just gonna use that. I wanted to upload the thing. This should open that just to make sure it's the right one. Yep, nice. And copy file by ID, that's fine. Replace text. Yeah, so obviously this all is gonna have to be passed in via the MCP. We want the agent to generate text in this form. The way we have this is we're gonna use the structured output parser node. Okay, I don't know if this is the one I want to use actually. I don't really like this one. Which one is this gonna? Yeah, let's go with that one. If I go here and I get this schema, and we're gonna use that as instructions for the agent. Hey, let's go back here. I've explored your writing. Do you have any running locally or in the cloud? I need to add an instance URL to the MCP connection. You've already built the workflows. Do you have a Webhook URL that can trigger for the posting MCP? All right, so we'll just say for the carousel generation, I need the agent to pass its answer in the following format. I'm going to paste this in the following format. And here, I'm going to go MCP server trigger. Production. I'm going to go to webhook. Production. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to publish this. Okay. I'm going to say here is the production URL of a running of a published NNN flow. It will do the text replacement in Google Slides based on agents query. By the character webhook implementation plan for this integration, I still need the posting webhook URL when you have it. We'll do them after. Let's just see if this one works. Currently don't have any executions yet. Modify the SOP to report JSON publish post.py send carousel.py. Yeah, go ahead with that. It's fine. It's gonna draft first. I'm gonna agree. It's gonna run this. It's gonna send it to the right URL. You can see it's really mostly just natural language. I mean, for the most part, we're just talking in English to the agent, and setting up a simple workflow like this is not really hard at all. So we can use this agentic workflow as the brain, and then we've given it the hands, the tools, as the NNN workflow, as the NNN flows, different flows. Okay, it's also going to update Gemini MD to contain this new directive, as you can see. Accept. We're gonna see if it works. The webhook channel 44 is not actively listening. That's weird. It's live. Should it be get or post? I'm running a get method. Yeah, okay. It should be posts. Yeah. If I put post, save, publish, publish, executions. All right, let's see if this works now. Yeah, we can go for a listen for test events. This is for the test event. And repaste the URL. Went through perfectly fine. We have all of the stuff here. For example, here, I'm gonna call it Webhook. Well, it's Webhook. It's not even this, it's this, right? That's how it works. So let's go ahead and just replace all of these ones with these ones. We'll just do that. Okay, so basically just went ahead and did all these connections. So slide one title went it there, slide one body went there. And that's did the same thing for all of the other ones as well. As you can see, that one is so that's currently working. Now we will switch to the so I'm going to save this. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to save this. I'm going to switch to the copy the production one, publish this, go to executions. Here I have published the workflow. Let's see if this works. We do want to stay with the test URL because I'm going to do it manually. So run to trigger the Google Slides generation. Okay, so I'm going to tell it to draft a Google slide for the 007. Send it to the webhook. I don't know if it'll work because there seems to be some issue with the production URL. I'm not sure what the problem is. Oh, success. Nice. All right, so it got it. Now, if I go copy to editor and I pin this in here, I'm gonna go with the post. We'll go with the title slide. Cool. So if I run this, copies the file, replaces the text, downloads that file, and uploads it to the drive. Now if I go here, add the right like view. Vector database, rules database, feedback loop, the key insight, page feedback loop that persists across sessions, follow from one. Cool. So that's very nice. Now that it's working, we can basically save this and publish. This is the whole thing. And now we have that tool done. So now if we wanted to do a posting one, we need to go back here. We go to plus, workflow, personal, open it again, it out. And this one, again, we still start with a webhook, but webhook, all we want to do is pass in the post. Okay, so all we want to do is pass in the post. So here I'm going to go to test URL. I'm going to say here is a test URL for the posting workflow. Put this wherever it needs to be. The posting workflow only works on posting text, not carousels. To post a carousel. It should go to Gemini MD where the MCP trigger commands are documented. Agreed, that's where it should go. Okay, and I'm gonna say here is a test URL for posting. That's only a JSON array with post. I'm gonna listen for test event. Okay, so accept. Is it listening? Yeah. Accept this. Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna call this posting. Make it post. This is for test event. Copy. Sorry. Here it is. Accept this. Success true. Workflow has started. Post. This is a test post for LinkedIn publishing. Perfect. So all that this will do really is go to LinkedIn, create a post. I'll be posting as myself, obviously. And the text is just going to be full post into text. Done. That is it. Now this, I will switch to production. I will copy or publish. Got it. Okay. Here is the production URL for posting. Post, English post, LinkedIn web posting. All right, yes, but when I say post, you'll remember, you need to remember that this is strictly referring to the text post. And if it is not already in at Gemini.md, it should be there that the Gemini.md file is always consulted before any action is taken. And I another part into this. What we're gonna do, except all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in this final aspect, which is gonna be that if you come up with the post and I tell you post it, automatically assign it 3 points and move it as a example. Okay, I'm gonna say when you generate a post draft and I say post it, automatically give it a level 3 point and make it an example in the data folder. This way, every time we say post, like we're not gonna say good or bad. Let's say good, bad, or post. Good is +1, bad is -1. But post is a +3. So this forces the agent to learn how to maximize its score. And secondly, it automatically gets added to the data folder. You see, so by doing that, the agent has no choice but to literally get better every time it runs. It just gets better. So now if we look at the Gemini MB file, it's grown a lot since we started, because when we started it was only about 20 lines, and now we've got so much more here. This is good, this is the goal, because now we want to keep this very flat and simple, the Gemini file, but it is the single source of truth for this entire agentic system. So we can test it out now properly. I'm gonna say generate a post about how to use Antigravity to build self-annealing agentic flows. First, whatever. No one doing that. For this, here is the result draft. Okay, I agree with carousel. and post the post. I'm gonna test it out. And the Google Search is being generated. I didn't use publish post because that's on carousels. Perfect. Perfect. So here we have the self-annealing AI agents. So I'm going to go ahead and say now, all right, post the text post. And we're going to see if it gets added here. Anyways, look, this is the thing it's come up with. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just download this. Accept. So it says true. So now if I open my LinkedIn on my post, yeah, perfect. Now I'm obviously just gonna remove this because I want to do it with the actual carousel that it's for. Now I'll get into how we can do this in the next video because it's gonna have to do with HTTP requests. So as you can see, it's done that all. And if I accept this, accept all, you can see here example for.txt. How self-annealing works. Most AI everything in 3 seconds. You get the feedback. Fix is simple. So there you have it. Built a full in 36 minutes. We've added 2 tools to an AI agent, which could have taken us much shorter time if we weren't going through it step by step and just simply giving a straight command to Gemini. But there you go. Hope you liked it. See you in the next one.